Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for? Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost. I'm going to Mandalore, so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
May the Force be with you!
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Hang on, kid. This is the way. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to our The Mandalorian Season 3 official trailer breakdown video. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hop right on into it, as we normally do with our breakdown videos here on the channel. We're gonna break this bad boy down frame by frame. Of course, regarding all types of different Easter eggs and things that you might have missed throughout the trailer, as well as sharing some of my own thoughts and opinions and theories towards the end of this video, so stay tuned for those. With that all being said, sit back, grab a snack, hit that thumbs up, and let's get into it. The trailer begins with the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, saying that our people are scattered, as we see him with another group of Mandalorians on a desert-like planet. This could be Navarro, outside of the city skirts, of course, or this could be a return to, of course, the one and only everybody's favorite planet in the galaxy far, far away, Tatooine. Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, continues by saying that our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. And just from kind of telling from what it looks like, these other Mandalorians are looking around at each other. He's trying to assemble a team, an army of Mandalorians is kind of an ongoing theory. However, I will say that these Mandalorians that we see with him in this shot are the ones that he's going with to find these other Mandalorians and hopefully bring them in to kind of join his cause, his army essentially. We then lastly hear Mando by saying that, what are we? What do we stand for exactly? So also telling from that, it really seems that he's trying to assemble a team and really bring other Mandalorians together for a common cause, a common goal. We then see Mando make his traveling ways with Grogu to Navarro, the city-like aspects of the planet anyway, as we see a more developed overall city, and he meets up with the one and only Greef Karga, while also encountering these monkey lizards that are appearing in this tree. Which, yes, for one thing, that is the actual in-canon name of these species, monkey lizards. We also see them in the Return of the Jedi. The overall city, as I had mentioned, appears to be more developed. We see life going on in the background. As Mando and Grogu meet up with Moff Gideon once more for the third season, after firstly appearing in both of the first and second season of The Mandalorian, he was probably going to offer them some type of job. Also noting how in the background there is a statue of the late IG-11 bounty hunting droid that appeared in The Mandalorian Season 1, and in the finale he made the ultimate sacrifice, causing self-destruction and exploding for them, of course, to escape and saving the rest of the crew. That being said, we see this little bit of a tribute, a statue that has been built within the city. It's something that we actually saw in the second season firstly as well as it was being built, and he has his foot on a stormtrooper helmet, which is pretty cool. And on a side note, it's even being said that this character would return for the third season of The Mandalorian, being revived and rebuilt essentially as a mech for Grogu to be in. This is kind of regarding a little bit of a plot detail that's that's been going around for the last couple of months here about The Mandalorian Season 3. So who knows? Fingers crossed we might see this. In the sequence before they arrive at Navarro, however, as I should mention, we hear Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, mention that
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost.
So maybe this is correlating to, of course, how we saw Grogu train before to be a Jedi with Luke Skywalker at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2, and also in the book of Boba Fett there. So maybe it's now his turn to train as a Mandalorian, which would be, I have to say, overly interesting to see how that would go. Moving on, we see the Armorer, of course, appearing in the first season of The Mandalorian, and later being seen in the book of Boba Fett, after banishing away Din Djarin from their clan, after he, of course, confesses that he's gone against their Mandalorian ways by removing his helmet. And so we see Din tell her that he's going to Mandalore, as it was revealed in the book of Boba Fett that the only way to really circum this and rejoin their Mandalorian clan is by traveling to what's left of Mandalore and bathing yourself in the ruined mines, which is really ramping up to be quite a pivotal part for the third season of The Mandalorian. And as we also see in the trailer, perhaps before taking this overall journey, as it's really quite a big one, he takes a stop at Tatooine to visit with Pelimoto, as we see her in the trailer, and also picking up with R5, as he would like to bring R5 along for the journey there as well. Now, this does kind of pose a little bit of a theory out there, and I have already talked about this in a video here on the channel. However, seeing Pelimoto and Tatooine in the trailer for the third season of The Mandalorian just about to an extent confirms that we'd also see Boba Fett and that whole gang there appearing somewhere in the season here as well. And as we did for Andor already previously before, we once again get to see some more of the live-action beauty of Coruscant in the third season. I'm guessing and assuming that this would be kind of like the main capital of the overall galaxy, the New Republic here. And so what the common theory is that has been going around is that Dr. Pershing is showing up here to potentially break Moff Gideon out of the New Republic jail system. Dr. Pershing firstly appears in The Mandalorian Season 1, and as we know, Dr. Pershing is simply an Imperial scientist who's looking to clone some of the Force abilities, the midichlorians, within Grogu. So I really do find it quite interesting to see that he would go as far to try and help with breaking Moff Gideon out of this New Republic imprisonment. We then go on to see Carson Teva, who is a New Republic pilot appearing in both seasons of The Mandalorian, and also appearing within the book of Boba Fett as well. And in the trailer, we hear his character saying that there's something dangerous happening out there, and by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it will be too late. I think it's safe to say that he's talking about what is left of the Empire, and it's interesting to see that the New Republic is beginning to take cause and action with the Imperials and what's left of their remnants. In my own thoughts and opinions, this isn't something I think that we've seen much with already in the Mandoverse here overall. And even in a way, it feels like that the New Republic has kind of just been doing their thing and ignoring what's left of the Empire, and the Empire's been kind of doing the same thing. However, of course, there's always the possibility that I could be completely wrong about that whole idea there as well. There was a Rangers of the New Republic show that was scheduled for Disney+, however, since then has been kind of shelved and cancelled. However, that doesn't mean that it still doesn't have the opportunity to arise and actually become something and actually happen. Now, the common thought of what we have here with Captain Teva is that it appears that he's talking to the Mandalorian. However, note that the Mandalorian is on a completely different overall planet here. Of when the camera goes to him, it goes from Teva and it goes to Mando, and Mando's on Mandalore and Teva's on maybe Navarro or maybe on Coruscant or something like that. So it can be presumed that maybe Teva necessarily isn't talking to Mando, but much rather could be talking to anywhere and anyone or anywhere. From Dave Filoni's character, Trapper Wolf, could be talking to Mon Mothma. That was a recent rumor that we had discussed here on the channel, or even Luke Skywalker I've heard thrown out there. Now really, these are just a bunch of overall theories that I'm just kind of throwing out there, so let me know what you think about those in the comments down below. We then go on to see some of the mines of Mandalore, some of the ruins of Mandalore here, and it's very watery, very aquatic looking like here, as we see Mando and Grogu pull an old Mandalorian helmet from the ruins and from the ashes, the dust. Of course, it's reserved because it's Beskar armor. Now, just kind of telling going from what we know about this Mandalorian helmet, it doesn't belong to anybody. It's not that deep. It's just a random Mandalorian helmet. I will say it definitely looks cool though. Okay, finally, let's talk about some of what everybody's talking about essentially. The elephant in the room. Order 66 flashbacks being shown in the trailer here as well. I just talked about this in our reaction video here on the channel for the 3rd season Mandalorian trailer here. And wow, this just feels like something that is just so unexpected, so unprecedented. I just wouldn't think that they would actually show actual like Order 66 flashback scenes here in the actual trailer. I feel like that's something that would have been saved maybe for the actual show itself. And I have to also say that this is exactly the same like door hallway kind of scene that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett. This is exactly the same thing that we just saw in the Book of Boba Fett. We're also seeing this through Grogu's eyes here as well. So this whole aspect of it kind of being the same exact scene that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett makes sense. There's a lot of different theories kind of going around here. It's going to probably be revealed of like who is the one that saved Grogu from Order 66. That's going to be revealed here in The Mandalorian Season 3, I think. But the question kind of that remains and is kind of thrown out there is, how is Grogu having more of these flashbacks and more of these visions? Is he option A, just kind of tapping into these by himself? Did he go somewhere maybe special and unique to the Force that he's able to enhance his powers with? Or maybe are we meeting back up with Luke Skywalker again to tap him into those flashbacks like we saw in the Book of Boba? I'll be discussing and talking a little bit more about this in depth here in a separate future video here on the channel. From there, we get a pretty cool chase here between a Mandalorian starfighter that's being piloted by the one and only Din Djarin, being chased by a bunch of Imperial TIE interceptors. My thought on this is that this does appear to be Bo-Katan's Mandalorian starfighter, unless it's just a random one that he picked up at Mandalore. I'm not really sure, but I like to go with the potential theory that this does belong to Bo-Katan, and maybe the two made up over the whole Darksaber, ruler of Mandalore, whole kind of beef thing that's going on there. Anyway, that is something that is being saved heavily for the actual show itself. Nonetheless, it's really cool to have like space battles and just battles between ships. Whether or not he's flying in the Mandalorian starfighter, or if this is his own ship, the N1 starfighter, Naboo starfighter, of course, he's passing some rocks, what appears to be rocks, but I paused it right here, and this looks like a Wookiee. I'm not completely sure if it's a Wookiee or if it's a rock, but let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. We then go on to see Mando entering a bar full of droids, which, as we know, when we first started the overall show, this whole journey, Mando is not a fan of droids. Despite that, this scene showed up for like 0.5 seconds in the trailer itself, and there's a number of droids that we can see here in this overall frame itself. We see 3 B-1 battle droids from the Clone Wars era, the prequels era, and other astromech-like droids. None of them that we exactly really know, at least from what I can tell, but let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I could be wrong. Just the whole idea, in fact, that we're seeing B-1 battle droids once again in Star Wars, and in live action, after so many years, is really quite astounding, and honestly really cool. We then go on to have the whole scene with the Death Watch Mandalorians dropping down into what appears to be Navarro. That's what everybody's been saying and everybody's been calling it. This is all footage and scenes that we've already seen from the first marketing and trailers for the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. However, what really has been standing out too, I guess just me, I have seen other people mention it here and there, I think Sabine Wren is in this shot, like right here, right now. Of course, there's always a possibility that I could be wrong. It's kind of a blurry picture. I really have to zoom in here to get a better, good look there at this overall Mandalorian, but it could be Sabine. Sabine Wren, of course, as we already all know and love, appears in Star Wars Rebels, the animated show, and her character, as well as the rest of the, living Star Wars Rebels characters, are all being said to appear in the Ahsoka Tano show, also coming out later this year. And so, my common theory that I talk about a lot here on the channel is that I think that we're going to have a Mandalorian Season 3 episode that is pretty centric around all of those characters, and just working with, I guess, expanding that, essentially introducing all of these Star Wars Rebels characters into live action, and as well, of course, bringing in Rosario Dawson's live action Ahsoka Tano, who's honestly just perfect, and setting things up, setting the stage essentially for what we're going to see with that show. So in my thoughts and opinions, it really makes sense that this could be, I guess, Sabine Wren. And my other supporting, I guess, piece of evidence for that is that we get another look at this Mandalorian, or what appears to be the same Mandalorian. A little bit closer, a little bit better, and I don't know. Let me think about that one in the comments down below. I'm honestly really dying to hear what other people have to think about this and have to say about it. Babu Fur gets some more time to shine here in the new trailer as well, who's going to be appearing in the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. Doing who knows what is kind of just up in the air, but it's cool to see this guy returning. The trailer concludes with one last pretty action-packed scene here, as we see what appears to be Grogu exploring the mines, the ruins of Mandalore, and with, of course, Din Djarin somewhere probably out there, who knows, until he comes to an exit or entrance, however you want to use it, of one of the mines, until he's, of course, ambushed and surprised by this creature. This creature, I'm not sure what it is. It's not a Wookiee. It could be a Sasquatch. I'm really just not sure on what on earth this thing is supposed to be. It's scary looking, though. Despite that, it's no match for Grogu and causing any trouble, as we see the one and only Grogu, Baby Yoda, using the Force on this dude, just forcing him away and out of the way and just ruling him. I really can't wait to see this little guy, again here for one thing, but using the Force and expanding his Force abilities even more and more is going to be so cool to see with the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. Now from there, that is where the trailer concludes. And there is really just a lot to take in here overall for what we can expect to see here with the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. It's going to be action-packed, expanding the lure and the canon here of this overall story here, the Mandoverse, just expanding more and setting up other shows in the Mandoverse, like the Ahsoka Tano show, A Book of Boba Fett Season 2, Rangers of the New Republic, Star Wars Skeleton Crew are all huge possibilities, and it is all doing it right here with The Mandalorian Season 3. It's going to be incredibly awesome to see this. Now, as I had also mentioned, there is a lot in this overall trailer. There's stuff that I'm just downright just not sure about, and there's other things that I probably definitely honestly missed in this overall trailer. So if it's either of those two things, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Maybe you have a clear-cut answer. I want to know your thoughts and opinions either which way. I would love to hear what you guys will think about this overall trailer in the comment section down below. Not just that, but what are you looking forward to most with The Mandalorian Season 3? What do you want to see with the 3rd season of The Mandalorian? I would love to hear what you guys will think in the comments down below. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. This is the way. Peace out.